Welcome to the 18th and the concluding session of Healthy Head and Healthier Mind. Look at the slide. You can see that it is written, the cells in your body react to everything that your mind says. Negativity brings down your immune system. I had already discussed about the conscious mind and subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is also called in our terminology as the natural mind, the mind which is completely governing the nature as such. So this mind is partially monitoring all the conscious minds as well. And it is also controlling all the cellular minds as well. Each and every cell contains its own consciousness, its own intelligence, its own decision-making ability. So in the body, there is a conscious mind working as part of the sensory organs, as part of the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system with the selected portions in the brain. Whereas the whole body contains millions of cells, and each and every day the cell has got its own mind. Which means if you are controlling your sensory organs and motor organs, who is controlling the functionality of each and every cell? That is where that subconscious mind is coming into picture, or the natural mind is coming into picture, which is part of the divine mind. So please read again. The cells in your body react to everything that your mind says. Negativity brings down your immune system, which means more and more of negative thinking is gradually going to affect the formula of the cells themselves, as I had earlier told about how stress gradually affects the cellular consciousness and how gradually induces different types of health issues in the body. Mindful or mindful. A dog is there, a man is there. A man's mind is full of all these things. Cars, items, and children, and music, and official ambitions, all those things, personal ambitions, shoes, houses, that way. At the same time, along with the man, if a dog is also moving, what the dog will be thinking? Actually, dog will not be thinking. Dog will be simply watching those 4 trees at the front, and there is sunlight there. So mind is full, or is it mindful? In Buddhism, there is a method of meditation called mindfulness meditation. In the mindfulness meditation, what they in general do is they simply experience everything as such with the passive mindset. Means, let us say there is a sunlight, and if it is a burning sun or a scorching sun, and if you are walking outside in the open area, the people who are mindful, full, they will think of carrying an umbrella or having a sunburn lotion, whereas the people who are mindful, just FUL, they will bear the scorching sun as well. It is basically, to some extent, the body can bear all the natural experiences, even if some of them are slightly irritating or slightly painful also. So in the Buddhism, they practice a method of meditation called mindfulness, where passively experience everything. This is what is told in the Bhagavad Gita also as Matra Sparshastu Kaunteya Shitoshna Sukhadukta Agamapaino Nitya Tan Titikshasva Bharata. You will have to bear it. That is what is told. So just think, whose mind is full and whose mind is actually experiencing nature this way. There are only two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle, told by Albert Einstein. Sir Isaac Newton had one three-dimensional model of the solar system in his lab. At the center, Sun, around it, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. That way, the planets revolving around the Sun. It was a three-dimensional model. One day, a friend of Sir Isaac Newton came there, and the friend just looked at this particular three-dimensional model of the solar system, and the friend asked Isaac Newton, "This model is really very beautiful. Even I want to have such a model at home. Just tell me who made this model done for my home." Newton simply smiled. He did not tell anything. But the friend again pressed him, saying, "I am asking you, tell me the name of the person who made this model. I also want to get this model done, and I want to have it at home. It is really very beautiful looking." Again, Newton smiled. Now the friend told, "You must be feeling jealous that if I have such model at home, then people may not appreciate the model which is in your lab. So you must be feeling jealous that you don't want to disclose the name of the person who made this model, so that only you will have this model. You don't want me to have such model." Newton again smiled and told, "My dear friend, you are worried about the model. I am worried about the original. You repeatedly kept on asking me who made the model. You never asked me who made the original. Now I'll ask you in return who made the original. This model is fine. It is working in a three-dimensional way. But the real original solar system, where around Sun, planets are moving in their specific orbits since millions of years without any collision, without any accident. And who planned this particular movement of the planets? The planets are spinning around themselves, and that is how day and night is happening. And the planets are going around Sun, and that is how one whole year is happening. Spring, summer, autumn, winter is happening. And is it simply some automatic mechanism? There is a plan there. And this plan is going on since millions of years, and it will go on for the next future millions of years. As long as Sun keeps burning, this will keep on happening. So, who made the original? I should wonder about it. You should wonder about it and try to understand the one who made the original. Think about that way. There are only two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle, everything is material. The other is as though everything is a miracle. Truly, everything is basically a miracle. You don't have to look for miracles otherwise. The day when you sleep and the next day morning when you wake up, automatically your eyes open up, your ears will be working, your body will be working. It was taking rest for nearly 6 to 8 hours. And as soon as you wake up, your body is ready at your service. It is a miracle. Heart is pumping. Breathing is happening. It is a miracle. The very act of you cutting a nail and the nail again growing is a miracle. If life is looked at that particular angle. But as Helen Keller has told, yesterday I had showed the slide as Helen Keller has told. Just recall that. The question sent by Swami Vivekananda. Take risks in your life. If you win, you can lead. If you lose, you can guide. Both ways, you'll have to take risk. Only by taking risks, we learn our lessons. If we don't take any risk, we are within our comfort zone. As long as we are within our comfort zone, no progress is going to happen. Look at this picture. The famous boat race in Kerala at Aleppi. You can see this famous boat race. Such a lengthy boat. In each boat, almost 100 people are there. And all these 100 people have their legs tied to the boat so that they should not fall down. Now look at the way in which they are synchronized, and look at the way in which they will be rowing the boat, and how they work as a great team. It's a feast to watch. I have not watched it till now, but its videos I have watched. It's basically a feast. Now think about the people who have taken such a risk. If they win, they will celebrate. If they lose, they will learn again how to win next time. Never get living that you forget to make a life. Look at this picture. He is running towards his grave, and he is running as if he is trying to catch this bunch of money. He will never be able to catch this bunch of money because it is tied to himself. Unfortunately, our education system of the present days is making our children as memorizing machines in the schools, colleges, and later on turning them into money-making machines lifelong. Somewhere, somehow, this system will change, and this can change if people make some conscious decisions about how to change this. In general, people think that happiness is coming out of money. Everyone wants to be happy. And they think that when they have more and more money, they will be happy. So for earning more and more money, they will work. More money, more work. Sometimes 8 hours work, sometimes 10 hours work, sometimes 14 hours work, sometimes double shift work, sometimes non-stop work. They want more money, more work. I have been seeing the present generation where every 1 or 2 years, they'll keep changing their companies. Even if they get 1,000 rupees raise, they'll change their companies, they change their jobs because they want to earn more money faster. I really wonder, don't they have a commitment of at least 5 years for the organization where they are working? My principle is that whichever organization people join, they should be there at least for 5 years. So that even they will learn the necessary skills of the profession, and even the organization will be gradually getting a benefit out of the service of at least 5 years. If people keep on changing their jobs very often, rolling stone gathers no mass there. They will not have any relationships anywhere. But that is how the present generation is thinking of making more and more money, working more and more, due to which there is more and more of stress. Because more work, more pressure, more stress, more number of people, and more number of complications, more number of difference of opinions, more stress. Gradually, the stress will lead to disease, at times physical disease, at times psychological disease, and gradually the same disease is going to consume your money. Till now, I have not taken a health insurance policy. In future also, I am not going to take any health insurance policy because mine is a preventive approach. I maintain my health, so I don't have to worry about getting admitted to a hospital because of some serious disease. Whereas, even insurance, health insurance has become a big business now, where people are forced to have such insurances, and people are frightened that they may have such serious diseases in their old age unnecessarily. Now, these people who are working only for money, they will be stressed out, and due to stress, they will develop disease. And gradually, whatever is the hard-earned money is going to be spent for their treatment of the diseases. Adi Shankara says, Balastavat kridasaktaha, tarunastavat taruniraktaha, vruddhastavat chintamagnaha, parame brahmani kopina lagnaha. In the young age, the time goes by playing around. In the adolescent age, it is through mutual love affairs or attraction towards the other gender and getting into the love triangle or love quadrangle or whatever, that way. Vruddhastava chintamagnaha. In the old age, people keep on worrying about their health, their sickness, and their own differences in their family members. And children are not here, children are elsewhere, parents are here, they keep on worrying that children are not in touch with them. Vruddhastava chintamagnaha. Parame brahmani kopagnaha. No one is really worried about having self-realization, having God realization, having a real understanding of the life. This way life is going on. Now you may ask me, sir, is earning money bad? Earning money is not at all bad. Money is very much required for the comfortable lifestyle. But this vicious cycle is bad. For getting more money, working more, and stressed out, and affecting one's own health, and finally using that money only for regaining the health. Ultimately, who is wealthy? Patient will not be wealthy. The system which takes care of the disease of the patient, that system will be wealthy. All the wealth which is there with the patient, it would have been transferred to the other system which is taking care of the patient that way. This diagram, what is wrong with this? The basic wrong thing with this diagram is that between happiness and money, that arrow mark, that should not be here. The assumption that more money will yield to more happiness, that itself is a wrong assumption. If that was the case, people would not make billions of rupees here in India and they would not run out of the country to save themselves. They should be more happy with more money, no? But that is not the case there. So this assumption that more money will lead to more happiness itself is wrong. Happiness is basically a state of mind. Happiness is basically conscious decision. Young age is spent in studying materialism, middle age is spent in practicing materialism, and old age is spent in suffering due to this materialism. Children play with smaller toys and adults play with bigger toys, that too more seriously than children. Thus, those who keep on counting smaller things will end up losing bigger things. Money is not everything. It can buy a bed, but not sleep. It can buy a clock, but not time. It can buy a book, but not knowledge. It can buy a position, but not respect. It can buy you medicine, but not health. It can buy you blood, but not life. My dear friends, even today in the best lab in the world also, is it possible to produce one drop of blood? Is it possible to produce one drop of drinking water? No. That one drop of blood, what all it contains in the body? Is it possible to synthesize blood as such through some chemistry? No. So it can buy you blood, but not life. What are the real assets to be earned now? The real assets to be earned by every evolved individual are devotion, knowledge, and discrimination. Bhakti, jnana, karma. Karma means satkarma. The next assets to be earned are humility, vinaya, innocence, mugdhate, dedication, shraddhe, compassion, contentment, endurance, and universal love. Karune, trupti, talme, universal love, unconditional love, nishkama prema. These are the spiritual assets which are permanent and not materialistic. They are part of software, they are not of hardware. In fact, these are the assets which everybody should gain, everybody should culture, everybody should utilize. But people think by spending money on materials, they will become happier, which is a wrong assumption. I am going through a particular online course in Coursera that is called Science of Well-Being. There they have made a research that is it worthy in spending money on things or is it worthy in spending money on trips? And they have found out that spending money on trips will yield more happiness than spending money on things. And they have found out the reason that things will remain the same next day also, things will remain the same next month also. So people will get bored with the same type of thing, and they will be bored with the same shoes or same dress because they have to use it once again. Whereas when they invest money on trips, they will have varied experiences, and experiences will be different each time. Through experiences, people learn, not through things. So ultimately, the assets are supposed to be devotion, knowledge, and discrimination, not materialistic assets. Goal stands for gaining overall achievement in life. What is meant by overall achievement? Everyone should have a personal goal, then the relational goal, then the professional goal, then the social goal, then the intellectual goal, then the spiritual goal. This is told by Dr. Bharat Chandra. Everyone should have a personal goal. When you look at your face in the mirror, you should feel happy about yourself. You should feel proud about yourself. You should actually like yourself. That is a personal goal. And you should have a relational goal. In your family, you should really think what may be the opinion of yourself with your parents and with your siblings, your brothers and sisters. What may be their opinion about you? What about the spouses? What about your own children? What they think about you? That is important. If everyone in the family thinks about you as a positive person, your relational goals are met. Actually, family means each one should like each other, each one should love each other. Otherwise, there is no meaning in family. You should naturally have a professional goal for earning money and for gradually having a comfortable lifestyle and to have an upgradation in the profession or in the business, in whichever way. You should also have a social goal. Ultimately, do you really contribute something to the society which is helping you to develop your profession? Are you in some way accountable for some of the positive changes that can occur in the society? Can you really make some impact in the society? Some positive impact in the society? That social goal you should have. And you should also have intellectual goal. Keep on asking questions about if problems are there, why such problems occur, and what may be the possible solutions. And you should keep asking about the questions about the mysteries of life. That is an intellectual goal. Finally, everyone should have a spiritual goal. They should have a spiritual goal to establish connection with God. They actually should have a goal to understand the mystery before birth and after death. And the mystery basically about the sustenance of life on this earth. So all of us should have personal goal, relational goal, professional goal, social goal, intellectual goal, spiritual goal. But sadly, we see more of professional goals only, more of materialistic goals only. Less percentage people will have social goals. Still very less will have intellectual goals. Really very less percentage they will have spiritual goals. Then it is not gaining overall achievement in life. If people have only professional goals, then it is only 1 out of the 6 areas. Only 1/6 of the objectives are met. Then it is not an overall achievement. It is a partial achievement. I have been telling this again and again. Fate means faith, actions, thoughts, and environment. What is the meaning of team? Together, everyone achieves more. There must be unity, there must be integrity, there must be harmony among a team. Then, when the team works, each individual is going to be benefited by the teamwork itself. Society is basically a combination of smaller teams, bigger teams, and biggest teams. Any achievement in society is not possible by a single person as such, because all these complicated progresses are not just by one single person. The decision may be of one single person, but tasks are going to be performed by large number of people. And as I had told yesterday, luck is basically labor under correct knowledge. Gain knowledge of the system, develop the skill sets that are required for your profession, and then only work for your professional goals, and that is basically luck. There is nothing else called luck as such. When I was working in my very first company, my ex-colleague and my good friend Sridhar is also there in this session. Me and himself, we were colleagues in that company. And there, I got increment twice in a year. And I never wrote any self-appraisal form. I never asked anybody for that increment. I never approached my manager also for that increment. But I got this letter of increment from the vice president of our company, Vijayavani Reddy. And our managing director of the company was K.C. Rajaram. He is the son of K.C. Reddy, the first chief minister of Karnataka. And I feel happy that I worked in such a company where I got 2 increments in 1 year. So can you call me as lucky? That luck is basically labor under correct knowledge. Nothing else. Too many people spend money they have not earned to buy things they don't want, to impress people they don't like. This is a funny statement told by Will Smith. They spend money they have not earned because they are using credit cards. They will be earning the money only next month. Until then, it is on credit. To buy things they don't want, they simply go to some shopping malls. At that moment, they think they will like something and they will buy it. And they will bring that and they will stuff their wardrobe. They will fill the wardrobes with all these things. But at times, they may not use those particular things later on. And to impress people they don't like. Why they buy all those things? Just to make an envy with the neighbors or just to make an envy with the colleagues. Actually, they don't like anybody else. But still, they want to impress those people whom they don't like actually. That is what is that vitamin J. For what shall profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Told in the Bible. If the person loses his own soul and if he shall gain the whole world, what is the profit there? Nothing. This society, unfortunately, is divided into these 3 classes: lower class, middle class, and upper class. So, in the lower class here, the psychology is like this. My yesterday's earning was that much. I am having my today's earning now. How much will be my tomorrow's earning? Especially we see the vegetable vendors and the daily waged workers around us, whom we label as lower class in general. And their thinking is, they are comparing yesterday's earning with today's earning and they are thinking about tomorrow's earning. Now the middle class people who are salaried class, my last month's salary was of that much amount. My this month's salary amount is being spent now. How should I plan to spend my next month's salary? What about the upper class people or the business class? My last year's turnover was that particular figure. My this year's turnover is being calculated now. How should I increase my next year's turnover further? So all these 3 classes are centering their thoughts about the earning of money and spending of money. But what about the spiritual class? The spiritual class is, my past life's memories have come with me to this life. My present life is filled with the added new memories. If I don't restrain the imprints, how will my next life be? If I don't restrain the imprints, my next life will be same as this life. There will not be much of a change in the life. unless we make a change in what we decide to store in our memory, because memory gets transferred to next life. Look at this particular curve. I have been mentioning this particular curve as a Gaussian distribution curve. But this particular curve is filled with people. In general, in statistics, what happens is when we have large number of samples, those samples will be calculated in a particular statistics formula. And after the formula, variance is found out. And the square root of the variance is called standard deviation. That is called sigma. Now, taking sigma into consideration, +1 and -1. This side of sigma, that side of the sigma. That is called as deviation. Deviation from the standard. So looking at this particular picture, you can see that at the center, there is the sigma now. Wherever there is a peak, if you visualize a vertical line, that is a sigma now. And sigma +1, -1, that way, this side or that side, we can visualize. And it will go on this way. To the left side and the right side, the curve will come on this way. So here the finding is that from the standard, when we deviate, the curve will never meet the x-axis. The curve will come down, but the curve will never meet the x-axis as such, because there will be a large number of samples there. So this curve can be visualized in such a way that given a lot of data, how much is the variation from the given standard, and based on that variation, we calculate the standard deviation, and based on that, we come to a decision about the outcome of the sampling of the data. That is what is basically statistical survey. And many times such statistical survey is utilized even in research. So, this particular curve, if you observe this, at the center, if it is standard deviation, let us say slightly +1, slightly -1. How many people are there? At the center, how many people are there? Now, when you go towards the left side or the right side, how many people are there? Wherever there is actual standard, there the number of people will be much lesser in number, because all the other people have a larger amount of variance to both sides of the curve. This is one way of looking at this particular curve. The another way of looking at this particular curve is, at this particular sigma or standard deviation, if at all you visualize the peak, and let us say this peak is this y-axis, where if at all we call it as an efficiency, how many people really reach to this particular peak with the standard? That requires an enormous amount of effort to reach the highest standard. Now, in that case, the people who are at the peak are really very less in number. So, as such, whatever is in nature, same thing is told in the Gita as well. Bhagavad Gita says, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschinmam vetti tattvataha. So this particular curve, which is also called as normal distribution curve, it is also called as Gaussian distribution curve, named after Gauss. This is a great finding, and this particular picture talks a lot on its own about maybe it is a materialistic sample, or maybe it is a psychological sample, or maybe it is a spiritual sample as such. It remains the same. That is when Adi Shankara says it is always lonely at the top, because it takes enormous effort to reach to the top and to stay at the top. Ships don't sink because of the water around them. Ships sink because of the water that gets in them. Don't let what is happening around you get inside you and weigh you down. Don't get carried away by the things which are happening around you. You should develop that stability within you. Look at this picture. This guy was digging here, he got a diamond. Other guy is digging here. Now gradually that guy goes away whistling, and this guy thinks that he has to come here, and he starts digging here. But actually, wherever he was digging earlier, there below a diamond is there. But he may not get anything here now. Which means, just because somebody else is getting something, we should not keep on changing our goals or keep on changing our mindsets. We should keep on doing whatever is worth doing. Gradually, we will get the outcome out of it through our own efforts. Here, the comparison and changing of the goals, shifting of the mindset is not going to yield anything. It is as if you go to a restaurant, you order for some item, and after some time you look at the neighbor's table, and with the neighbor's table, when they order something, when that item comes, then you think that you should have ordered that particular item. And they will be thinking, looking at your table, that they should have ordered the item which you have ordered. Now, both are foolish that way. Whatever you have ordered, you should taste it. Next time again go to the restaurant, it's a choice. But you should not get carried away by the other people's options. It doesn't matter how many resources you have. If you don't know how to use them, it will never be enough. This fellow has got so many ladders below. What he has done is one ladder would have been enough for him to climb the wall. Instead, he is dumping one ladder over the other, and he is trying to go out. So he does not know how to use the resources. That means the number of resources does not matter. Look at this particular table where I am comparing a sadist, an opportunist, and a realist. A sadist lives in the past and spoils the present. Opportunist lives in the future and tolerates the spoiled present. Realist will live in the present and leaves the past and future as they are. Because future will happen as we plan, past we cannot change. Sadist carries a negative memory of the past and develops a negative memory for the future as well, based on his previous experiences. Opportunist carries a negative memory of the past and develops a positive memory for the future. Realist carries a positive memory of the past and develops a positive memory for the future. And sadist remains arrogant and thinks that life can be lived in any way because of his negative imprints. Opportunist will remain cunning and thinks that future will be better than past and present because he will have such schemes within his minds. Realist will remain confident and thinks that future will be good if the present is good. Mind according to Ayurveda. Manas, Chintya, Vicharya, Uhya, Dhyeya, Sankalpya. Chintya, again into two classes, Kartavya, Akartavya. What to be done, what should not be done. Vicharya, Sadhya, Asadhya. What is possible, what is impossible. Uhya, Satparanama, Dushparanama. Which will be beneficial, which will be harmful. Dhyeya, Sadbhavana, Durbhavana. Positive mindset, negative mindset. Or positive intention, negative intention. Sankalpya, Gunayukta, Doshayukta. Sankalpa, decision, qualitative decision and faulty decisions. All these 5 attributes are of the mind. Chintya, Vicharya. Chintya means we can think. Vicharya means we can gradually develop a logic. Uhya means we can imagine. Dhyaya means we can concentrate. Sankalpya means we can decide. Possibly no single factor associated with the life of a youth takes him farther from religion and God than the modern education. Told by my Paramaguru, Dr. Swami Geetananda Giri. You are seeing his picture here in this slide. He was a well-versed, qualified MBBS doctor. But his teacher told him to practice and teach Yoga Abhyasa, Ashtanga Yoga, along with the professional degree of doctor. And after he took a decision to take up sannyas, he quit his medical job and he started teaching completely spiritual practices. One such great example is Swami Gitananda Giri. One more such great example is Swami Shivananda. In the North India, it was Swami Shivananda. He was also a practicing medical doctor. Gradually, he shifted himself into the yogic practices and started teaching yogic practices. And he established an ashram in Hrishikesh. In the South India, it was Dr. Swami Gitananda Giri. I am fortunate to tell you that he is my Paramaguru. He is my Guru's Guru. He rightly told, possibly no single factor associated with the life of a youth takes him farther from religion and God than modern education, because modern education does not teach anything about religion or spirituality or God. In general, younger generation thinks that we are in the 21st century and we have a lot of advantages of this. But tell me, advantage of modern technology is human work is reduced. But the same is the disadvantage, because when the human work is reduced, many times humans do not work. That's the disadvantage of modern technology. They simply sit in a chair and keep on with the computer. They actually do not work physically as such, because physically some other machine is working. Advantage of the modern technology is cure to many old diseases. Now the disadvantage is creation of many more new diseases. Technology itself is going to create many more new diseases in future as well. Radiation related diseases, stress related diseases, psychosomatic diseases. These are some of the bones of the modern technology itself. Advantage of the modern technology is that knowledge increase in all areas of life. But the problem, again, disadvantage is the same thing. Excessive stress to learn more and more. Every year in the engineering colleges, we have to keep on revising the syllabus. In the autonomous stream or in the deemed universities, we will have to show that we are updating our syllabus. Updating our syllabus means adding more and more theory courses, adding more and more lab courses. Means putting more and more stress for the younger minds to learn more and more. Advantage of modern technology is increased communication. The same thing is the disadvantage now. Disadvantage is decreased peace of mind. Because of the increased communication, WhatsApp messages, SMS messages, email messages, always mobile phone is busy with so many messages. Sometimes the mobile phone memory is not sufficient. They change the mobile phone for a 4G, next 5G. Now they keep on watching what message is coming at the mobile. They will have an inclination to keep on checking every 5 minutes, keep on checking or pressing the button or swiping the screen again and checking any new thing has come or what. Now decreased peace of mind. It was meant to be a communication tool. Now it has become a friendly enemy as such. You cannot leave it. You will not leave it. It is a machine as such, but you still are very much fond of continuously checking it. Advantage of modern technology is higher yield and production. Now the disadvantage of modern technology is much higher pollution of nature. Because of this higher yield of production, much higher pollution of nature with the more and more artificial means of production and polluting the natural way of life. Advantage of modern technology is increased entertainment and comforts. Disadvantage is decreased relationships and social values. Because of increased entertainment and comforts, somebody will have a TV in the living room, somebody will have a TV in the kitchen, somebody will have a TV in the bedroom, somebody will have a YouTube connection in the smart TV as well, somebody will have a media player working in the TV as well, somebody will have some 300 channels, out of which nearly 90% of channels have no substantial value in their programs. Now people are busy watching their own channels. Decreased relationships and social values. Out of all these 200, 300 channels, which channel is teaching you about how to control yourself? Only in the early morning, some channels will keep on showing some yogic practices. Only in the early morning. That's all. Maybe morning 7 o'clock till 8 o'clock. Afterwards, till night 12 o'clock or night 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, what are they showing? People will forget whatever they did in the early morning itself. They keep on watching whatever is being shown afterwards in the prime time 9 o'clock. Now that is decreased relationships and social values. Possession of material riches without inner peace is like dying of thirst while bathing in a lake, told by Paramahamsa Yogananda, one of the greatest yogis of the previous century, who wrote such a beautiful classical book called Autobiography of a Yogi. I have been telling you people to read this particular book. If you have not started reading this book, please read this particular book. Possession of material riches without inner peace is like dying of thirst while bathing in a lake. Two things are infinite, the universe and the human stupidity. I am not sure about the universe, told by Albert Einstein. He says, universe is anyhow infinite because time is relative and space is curved. We don't know universe will have really an end or not because universe is multidimensional. But Einstein also says human stupidity is also infinite. He says, I am not sure about the universe, which means universe may have an end, I don't know. But human stupidity has no end. 7 dangers to human virtue, told by Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, the father of our nation. First one is wealth without work. Second one is pleasure without conscience. Third one is knowledge without character. Fourth one is business without ethics. Fifth one is science without humanity. Sixth one is religion without sacrifice. Seventh one is politics without principle. What great message he had given. Let us compare the human world with the divine world. In the human world, matter is predominant. In the divine world, energy is predominant. Energy is conscious of itself. It is the energy which is binding H2 and O together to become H2O. It is the energy which consciously took a decision to bind H and H together to make it as H2. It is the energy which decided that at the middle let there be nucleus. Around the nucleus let there be electrons. Otherwise, who is giving instructions to electrons to revolve around nucleus? It is the energy which is primordially controlling each and every particle in this universe. So in the divine world, energy is predominant. In the human world, matter is predominant. Next, in the human world, it is mainly objective and self-centered, whereas in the divine world, it is mainly subjective and all-centered. In the divine world, there is nothing called loss or gain. There is only natural progress, natural growth, and natural evolution. In the human world, happiness is temporary. In the divine world, happiness is permanent. There's a difference between this happiness and this happiness. In the human world, the happiness is materialistic. In the divine world, the happiness has relationship with the inner spirit. Human world is imbalanced and chaotic, whereas divine world is balanced and it is systematic. Any natural system is balanced on its own and it is very much systematic in its own way. If at all human beings try to spoil this system in nature, one day the nature will destroy all the humans as such mercilessly, because there is no loss, there is no gain as such. And the nature will re-establish its system in its own way without bothering about any gain or any loss. Because strictly speaking, in the divine world, there is no gain, there is no loss, there is only evolution. Human world is limited by space-time and objects, whereas the divine world is beyond space-time and objects. SPACE is systematically planned action of consciousness and energy. And TIME is the infinite movement of energy. Human world is dissolving and compressing, whereas divine world is evolving and expanding. Human world is with external pull with limitations, whereas the divine world is with an internal pull and it is beyond limitations. Again, my Paramaguru, Dr. Swami Gitanandagiri comes here. The law of karma does not allow for any such thing as an accident. Accidents are people looking for places to happen is one of my own pet expressions. Everything that happens in this universe happens under divine law. The cosmos is orderly. Only man seems to be disorderly and chaotic. Yoga Maharshi, Dr. Swami Gitanandagiri. This is basically a concise definition about the law of karma. There is nothing called accident or coincidence with nature because whole of nature is governed by the law of karma. In the Bhagavad Gita, again and again and again, the message is told there that it is impossible to completely be devoid of any activity as such, because nature itself is heavily active. When nature itself is heavily active, all the beings in nature also heavily active. That is when karma yoga is defined as leading a life for satkarma, leading a life not just for the calculation of its losses or gains or for the profits or for the benefits. Keep on doing your prescribed activity or prescribed task, and naturally returns will come on their own because nature itself is working for evolution. So everything that happens in this universe happens under divine law. There is a law of divine balance. In my next presentation, I'm going to discuss the 5 laws which are governed in this universe. The cosmos is orderly, only man seems to be disorderly and chaotic. Successful people read every day. Unsuccessful people watch TV every day. Successful people compliment. Unsuccessful people criticize. Successful people embrace change. Unsuccessful people fear change. Successful people forgive others. Unsuccessful people hold a grudge. Successful people talk about ideas. Unsuccessful people talk about people. Successful people continuously learn. Unsuccessful people think they know it all. Successful people accept responsibility for their failures. Unsuccessful people blame others for their failures. Successful people have a sense of gratitude. Unsuccessful people have a sense of entitlement. Successful people set goals and develop life plans. Unsuccessful people never set goals, because goal is basically gaining overall achievement in life. That overall achievement is personal, relational, professional, social, intellectual, spiritual. Those are the 6 areas where any person should have overall achievement in life. That is what is goal. The closer you get to excellence in your life, the more friends you will lose. Again, recall that Gaussian curve. The closer you get to excellence in life, the more friends you will lose. People love you when you are average because it makes them comfortable. Because people are in general average. If you are also average, it makes them comfortable. But when you pursue greatness, it makes people uncomfortable. Be prepared to lose some people on your journey. This is a sad fact, but you should be ready for that. Be prepared to lose some people on your journey, because those who are average, gradually they will isolate themselves from you, or you may have to isolate yourself from them. Otherwise, you will never grow up or go up. Look at this picture. People just act like they are trying to help you. Look at this picture. Somebody is below, somebody is above, but the ladder is here. The ladder is here, which is not known to the person who is inside. But the person who is here, he knows the ladder is here. Still, he is making an acting as if he will pull you up. And he knows you cannot come up. So, Some people just act like they are trying to help you. And some people act like they need your help. This person is inside, there is already a ladder. This person is not seeing the ladder, and the person who is upside, he is unable to see the ladder which is at this side, and he's thinking that he has to somehow help him. These people, they act as if they need your help. They don't need your help. They actually can come up. They are acting as if they are downtrodden that way. We have to beware of both of these types. I want to tell you a funny story. There was a frog which was caught in a small pit, and at the top there were other frogs, and those frogs were very happy that this particular frog is in a small pit now. And from the top, all those frogs were shouting that you stay there, you cannot come up, you don't try to jump, you cannot come up, you stay there. But this particular frog which was below, it was seeing their facial expressions and it was seeing their body language. It tried to jump. Again, they were all telling, don't jump, don't come up, you stay there, you are going to die there. This frog kept on jumping further, and the frog came up. Suddenly, it gave a big jump and the frog came up. When the frog came up, all the other frogs were wondering. We were continuously telling the frog that it cannot jump, it cannot come up. How come it came up? And they found out that that particular frog was deaf. It was never listening to whatever they were telling. And this frog was thinking they are encouraging me to come up. It was only watching their body language. So who is helping and who needs the help? Just go through these points. "12 steps to self-care. Number 1, if it feels wrong, don't do it. Number 2, say exactly what you mean. Number 3, don't be a people pleaser. Number 4, trust your instincts. Number 5, never speak bad about yourself. Number 6, never give up on your dreams. Number 7, don't be afraid to say no. Number 8, don't be afraid to say yes. Number 9, be kind to yourself. Number 10, let go of what you can't control. Number 11, stay away from drama and negativity. Number 12, love. No further explanation is required. 12 beautiful steps to self-care. 4 agreements. Be impeccable with your word. Speak with integrity. Say only what you mean. Avoid using the word to speak against yourself or to gossip about others. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. Don't take anything personally. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. Don't make assumptions. Find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama. With just this one agreement, you can completely transform your life. 4th one is always do your best. Your best is going to change from moment to moment. It will be different when you are tired as opposed to well rested. Under any circumstance, simply do your best and you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret. Doing what you like is freedom. Liking what you do is happiness. Told by Frank Tigger. Doing what you like is freedom. Liking what you do is happiness. Now let us see. Look at this picture closely. Whatever you love doing it, whatever the world needs it, and whatever you are paid for, and whatever you are great at it. Now, whatever you love doing it is your passion. Whatever you are great at it is your profession. Now, whatever you are great at it, only if you keep love doing it, then it is passion as well as profession. Now, if your passion, if the world needs it, then that is your mission. And whatever the world needs it, if you are paid for it, then that is your vocation. Okay? Yeah. In the chat box, there is some comment. This is called ikigai in Japanese culture, a wonderful concept that they have. Correct. Ikigai. Okay, thank you. So, your passion, your mission, your vocation, your profession. You are paid for it and you are great at it. That is your profession. You are great at it, you love doing it. That is your passion. You love doing it, world needs it. That is your mission. And the world needs it and you are paid for it. That is your vocation. That way, your material needs are fulfilled and your mental needs are fulfilled. Even your spiritual needs are fulfilled. Your mental needs are fulfilled. How? Passion. Your spiritual needs are fulfilled. How? Mission. Your material needs are fulfilled. How? Profession. Your social needs are fulfilled. How? Vocation. Your time is being utilized. Your body is being utilized. Your mind is being utilized. And yourself is being utilized. It's a beautiful image where maybe all of us have to develop all these four things: passion, mission, vocation, and profession. If all of them are converging together, then really that will be a highly successful lifestyle. What is this blue small ellipse at the center? The blue small ellipse at the center is your purpose. That is your purpose. Now, your purpose, is it your passion? Is it your mission? Is it your vocation? Is it your profession? If not, then it may need some change in your lifestyle. Look at this particular picture, above the line of thinking and below the line of thinking. This black line at the center is the line of thinking. Let us say above the line, thinking, acceptance, hero or heroine, choice, hope, response, love, results, 100% responsibility, abundance, clarity, feedback, action, solution. Because above the line, it is at cause. But below the line, it is at effect. Judgment, victim, stuck, fear, hopeless, reaction, blaming, excuses, vagueness, scarcity, failure, procrastination, problem. Now, judgment and acceptance, above the line, below the line. Victim and hero, above the line, below the line. Choice and stuck, above the line, below the line. Response and reaction, above the line, below the line. Hope and hopelessness. Love and fear, above the line, below the line. Results and excuses, above the line, below the line. 100% responsibility and blaming, above the line, below the line. Abundance and scarcity, above and below. Clarity and vagueness, above and below. Feedback and failure, above and below. Action and procrastination, above and below. Solution and problem, above and below. It requires a clear-cut conscience about kaya, vacha, manasa, how the body should be utilized, how the speech should be utilized, how the mind should be utilized. That is what is called as Trikarana Shuddhi. It is the purification of the Trikarana: kaya, vak, manas, body, speech and mind. The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. Ralph Waldo Emerson. The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. A man travels the world over in search of what he needs and returns home to find it. George Augustus Moore. Read that book, Alchemist, written by Paulo Coelho. A wonderful book. You will understand this particular sentence after you read that book. A man travels the world over in search of what he needs and returns home to find it because whatever he needs is already within. In Karnataka, we have some beautiful places called Kemangundi, Agumbe, Mysore. We have so many beautiful places. In fact, in general, every year we plan for a small trip, and the trip generally is 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. And in the trip, we will have some spiritual goal also, we will have some entertainment goal also. We choose such places. And I have a list of places. For example, Basavakalyan in Bidar, I have not yet visited. And near Belgaum, Ulavi, I have not yet visited. There are many such places, beautiful places I have not yet visited. There is a small falls called Hebe Falls in Kemangundi. I keep telling that that is the heaven in Karnataka. People who have not yet visited Hebe Falls in Kemangundi, please find a time, make it a plan, and visit there. It is a heaven in Karnataka state. But what I feel sometimes is some of my own relatives and friends, they have not yet explored the Karnataka state as such. They keep going to Switzerland and Singapore. I really wonder. I don't have an ambition to visit Singapore or Switzerland. I have not yet seen Ooty also, Kodaikanal also for that matter. Someday I will make it. I have not yet seen Munnar also for that matter. Valparai also for that matter. The state of Kerala itself has got so many such places. We are yet to explore them. We had gone to Kaladi, and when we went to Kaladi, we had gone to a small place called Pichi. There is a beautiful dam there, a very small dam. But it is a very, very beautiful experience. You can go above the dam, on the dam, below the dam. Very beautiful experience. So, when we have not yet explored our own state, our own country, what is the point in visiting other countries and searching for something which is there? When we ourselves don't know the greatness of Mahadevi Akka, Allama Prabhu, Channabasavanna, Shishunala Sharifa, Kanakadasa, Purandardasa, who are very much of our own Karnataka state. We are yet to learn a lot from Mankuti Manakagga of DVG. We are yet to learn. What is the point in trying to learn something which is different? That is when I told you, when you go to a restaurant, you just order for a food, you just eat it. Don't look at the neighbor's table. You are making a wrong choice there. You will neither enjoy your own food, nor will you keep on thinking about what is the taste of the neighbor's food. A man travels the world over in search of what he needs and returns home to find it. Because all the answers are within. Behold, the kingdom of God is within you, told in the Bible again. For my dear Hindu friends, I had told that you should keep writing the verse of Bhagavad Gita shloka, at least one shloka every day. I hope you people are doing it. Now my next advice would be, take one Bible book and read it. You will wonder when you match the parallels between Bible and Bhagavad Gita. That is what Paramahamsa Yogananda has mentioned very beautifully in his book, Autobiography of a Yogi. And he calls it as Christ consciousness. In whatever way Christ has told in the New Testament of the Bible, in the same way whatever is told in the Bhagavad Gita, the parallels are simply mesmerizing. They are told in two different languages, but the concepts are one and the same. Behold, the kingdom of God is within you, is told in the Bible. The same thing is told in the Veda. I am Atma Brahma. I am Atma Brahma. This soul is God. Your very own soul is God. Prajnanam Brahma. Aham Brahmasmi. Tat Tvam Asi. These are called four great sentences, four Mahavakyas of the Upanishads. Sometimes it is such a simple sentence called Aham Brahmasmi. Tat Tvam Asi. Prajnanam Brahma. I am Atma Brahma. But it takes many lives to understand the true meaning of these small sentences. My dear friends, keep on reading the spiritual books as much as possible. That is the only way to overcome the social Maya, then to overcome the natural Maya. Overcoming social Maya is a challenge. Once you overcome the social Maya, somehow you can always overcome the natural Maya. Natural Maya is not actually holding you from liberation. It is the social Maya which is keeping you under dark. So they cannot blame God for whatever is happening on earth. It is the social Maya which is keeping them downtrodden below in the Gaussian distribution. So if you can overcome the social Maya, the solution is keep on reading spiritual books, that too authentic spiritual books. Don't read all the spiritual books which are available in the market. There are so many fake spiritual people who keep on dumping their books into the market also. Don't get carried away by that. Read the classical spiritual books, authentic spiritual books. At least read Bhagavad Gita and Bible. In our website, we have put a list of spiritual books which people can read. It's a big list. You can go through the list and you can find out which all books you can access and you can read. Take your own time. Don't be in a hurry to read all the books. Take your own time and don't do multiple books at a time. Read only one book at a time. Otherwise, you will be confused by so many books reading parallelly and you will get more confused. Don't proceed that way. Take one book at a time and after you complete it, go to the next book. Lao Tzu told, if you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. If you are at peace, you are living in the present. Lao Tzu was living in the Chinese province. At that time, it was not a complete country called China. He was in that particular province and lifelong, he kept on teaching good things to people. But people as such were mediocre and average and they never used to listen to his advices. So, after he became old, Lao Tzu thought that let me not live among these people anymore because I have been advising to these people lifelong, but they are still remaining the same. So, let me start living in my own way along with my wife elsewhere. Lao Tzu told to his wife also that better to leave this particular place. And he and his wife left their village and they left their country as such. They were reaching to the border of the country. At the border of the country, there was a guard. This guard asked, "What, old man, where are you going?" Then this old man told, "I am leaving the country." Then the guard told, "Why are you leaving the country?" Then this old man told, "I have been living among people thinking that I will be of use to these people, but these people did not make use of me. So I am thinking that at least me and my wife, we will have some other useful lifestyle elsewhere in the wilderness." Now the guard asked him. Then this old man told, "My name is Lao Tzu." Then God told, "Oh, you are Lao Tzu. I have heard about you. that you have been giving very useful tips and suggestions to people. Why are you leaving? You should not leave. Then Lao Tzu told, my dear friend, as long as I was there, people never bothered about following my advices. Now you are asking me not to leave. For whose sake shall I stay? I have decided that I will be leaving. Now the guard asked him, please, Lao Tzu, at least stay with me for a few days here in the border, and whatever you can advise me, please advise me. And Lao Tzu kept on telling his philosophical sentences one by one for a few days or for a few months, I don't know, when he was in contact with a particular guard. And whatever Lao Tzu told, the guard wrote it down systematically. And later on, Lao Tzu went away along with his wife in the wilderness. Later on, nobody knew where Lao Tzu went and what happened to him. But the writings which the guard wrote down, later on, that book was published. Now the same book is available as Tao Te Ching. My dear friends, you can read that particular book also. I will keep on telling you a big list. You can keep on reading. This particular book called Tao Te Ching is a very beautiful collection of metaphysical revelations. It has no connection with any religion as such. But whatever is told in the Vedas, whatever is told in the Bible, it is told in the same way even in Tao Te Ching. Anyhow, this is an internet age, and in the Google everything is available. You can download a free PDF copy of Tao Te Ching and you can go through it. And thank Lao Tzu for that. The size of your problems is nothing compared with your ability to solve them. Don't overestimate your problems and underestimate yourself. When an ant has an ability to solve its own problem, a human being can have a much bigger ability to solve the problems. So the size of your problems is nothing compared with your ability to solve them. In fact, in nature, for a single problem, there are multiple solutions available. In mathematics, we have a subject called linear algebra. In that linear algebra, we come across situations where for a single problem, there can be multiple solutions. All the solutions are correct. Same way in nature also, for a single problem, there can be multiple solutions. So don't overestimate your problems and don't underestimate yourself. If you are still looking for that one person who can change your life, take a look in the mirror. I have been giving you enough tips for your physical health, and I have been giving you enough tips for your mental health. For physical health, 12 sessions got over. For the mental health, 18 sessions are getting over. Next, for the spiritual health, about 24 sessions are planned. But I cannot change you. If you are still looking for that one person who can change your life, take a look in the mirror. Don't say that because of Arvind sir you got changed. No, it is not me who is going to change you. It is you yourself. Ending this presentation again with the Snoopy. We only live once, Snoopy. And Snoopy says, wrong. We only die once. We live every day. Look at the two perspectives. The person says, we only live once. Sadistically, he says. He does not know the reincarnation theory, and this is not related to reincarnation theory. This is a general slide. Whereas Snoopy says, wrong. We only die once. We live every day. So why don't you take life positively? Theology without technology leads to superstition. Theos, logos. Techno, logos. Techno means method. Logo means knowledge. Theos means God. Logos means knowledge. Now, theology without technology leads to superstition. Even today, even in the 21st century, there are people who have occult practices of spirituality, cruel practices of spirituality, and they sacrifice animals for satisfying God, as if God is asking for animal sacrifice. When God Himself created every animal and bird, why will God ask you to sacrifice animals? But people are still under such superstition, even in the 21st century, because they are following a particular theology which has no technology. Kalidasa says, Pranamityeva na sadhu sarvam, nachapi kavyam navamityavadyam, santaparikshan yataradbhajante, muda parapratyyaneya buddhihi. Puranam iti eva nasadu sarvam, Kalidasa says, whatever is old need not always be correct. Nachapi kavyam navamityavadyam, whatever is new need not be blamed as such. Whatever is old need not be correct, and whatever is new need not be blamed that it is not correct. Santaha parikshan yatarad bhajante, the wise people will examine both the things. They will examine the older things also, they will examine the newer things also. Santaha parikshan yatarad bhajante. Then they will follow whatever is right. They will examine and they will testify both, whether it is old or new. Muda parapratyyaneya buddhi. The foolish ones simply follow what others are doing. So, theology without technology is leading to superstition. Technology without theology is leading to destruction. Marie Curie and Pierre Curie found about the secrets of radium, uranium, plutonium, about the secrets of radioactivity. In fact, both of them suffered a lot physically because of their own work on the radioactivity. They had enough health issues. But they found out the secrets of radioactivity. And gradually, Nobel made a lot of money out of it. And Nobel made a lot of money out of it. He became a millionaire. He felt so sad that his production or invention of the bomb is leading to destruction. So later on he said, whatever is the money he has made, now let that money be utilized as a prize money for some people who really make a positive change on this earth. That is how Nobel Prize came into picture, and every year Nobel Prize is given to so many people who are serious achievers in their particular areas, who are bringing out positive changes on this earth. Why Alfred Nobel became so sad even after becoming a millionaire? Because technology without theology leads to destruction. Even now in the 21st century, they keep on developing new methods of technology, and they keep on developing new products, and they keep on thinking that they are making a lot of progress. But I have shown you already a table having a human world and a divine world. And I have already shown you a table which is containing the advantages of technology and the disadvantages of technology. If there is technology without theology, it is going to lead to destruction. And we already had one world war. We already had a second world war. We had enough wars on this earth. And all this technology is being developed with the primary purpose of wars only. All the military weapons and the research funding on the development of new weapons, new types of missiles, guided missiles, programmed missiles, all this is for what? For killing some other enemy. But who is the enemy here? Who is the enemy? Pakistan thinks India is the enemy. India thinks Pakistan is the enemy. Now, China thinks India is the enemy. And India thinks China is the enemy. Now, America thinks Russia is the enemy. Russia thinks America is the enemy. Who is the enemy for whom? All these people, they don't have a knowledge of theology. They are simply developing technology only to conquer some other person whom they think that he is some other person or some other country. They always have a difference that we are we, they are they. Who are this they and who are this we? Is it not one earth? When these people will understand, they may never understand. This law of karma keeps going on. Who has to understand now? At least we have to understand. Their karma is theirs, our karma is ours. Now we cannot differentiate they and us as such. But the problem is here what? Technology without theology. And one more problem is theology without technology. Why I say Patanjali is the greatest scientist on this earth? Because his technology is neither leading to superstition nor leading to destruction. His technology is leading to realization and liberation. His technology of the practice of Ashtanga Yoga is leading to realization and liberation. There is nothing called superstition. There is nothing called destruction. Now, if at all, people like Patanjali, people like Swami Vivekananda, people like Adi Shankara, people like Jesus Christ, people like Guru Nanak, people like Moses, people like Prophet Muhammad, people like Zarathustra, if their teachings are not studied, there is no use of any technology. If their teachings are properly studied, that is theology with technology. There is a technology there in the spiritual books. Authentic classical spiritual books have got a technology also, have got a theology also. In the New Testament of Bible, Jesus Christ says one particular sentence, my Father's house has many mansions. What is the meaning there? That particular beautiful sentence, my Father's house has many mansions. Which is my Father's house? This body itself is my Father's house. This has many mansions means what? It has body, it has prana, it has mind, it has intellect, it has soul. It has panchakosha, 5 sheets. So this Father's house, it is my Father's house, which has got many mansions. In the same New Testament of Bible, St. John's chapter, very first sentence, Jesus Christ says, in the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God. In the beginning was the Word. That same word, it is called Amen, it is called Amin, it is called Om. It is that Nada Brahma, Shabda Brahma. In the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Because God is consciousness, energy, then matter. So is there no technology there? That is the ultimate technology which is told in the Bible. Is there no theology there? There is enough theology in the Bible. That is why, my dear friends, read the Bible also, then read the Quran also. First read the Bhagavad Gita for the Hindus. I would thank Dr. Bharat Chandra because he helped me in bringing my oratory skills to the surface. He helped me in overcoming the stage fear or people's fear. I was very naive and I was very innocent for many years. After I attended this Dr. Bharat Chandra's winner workshop, 4 days transformed Arvinda into a confident person. So that is how, if at all I am speaking now, that speaking ability to the public, it was because of Dr. Bharat Chandra's training. And I learned a great art of pranic healing, which was planned and discovered and invented in whatever way by Master Choa Kuksui. It's a very great method where body radiates prana and the prana can be projected through the hand without touching a person. I have already told you about Ojas, Tejas and prana. Without physically touching anybody, this prana can be projected to some other body with the ailment or sickness, which is a very great art. So those who are interested can always learn this practice of pranic healing for your own benefit. You don't have to heal others, but for understanding and for your own benefit, you can always learn this particular art and science of pranic healing, which is hardly 2 days workshop. One Saturday, one Sunday, only 2 days workshop, but it is worth it. I am also thanking Swami Jagadatmananda, who was the pontiff of Ponnampet Ramakrishna Ashrama. He had written a very beautiful book in Kannada called Badukalu Kaliri, and I had asked you to read that book as well. That particular book gave me an insight about how rebirth is happening, how reincarnation is happening, and how many people all over the world have been studying about it and finding out the truth about it, and what are all the valid proofs for it. All that he had summarized in his beautiful Kannada book called Swami Jagadatmananda. He had written that small particular book called Badukalu Kaliri, Learn to Live. Of course, there is a Tibetan book called, Book of the Dead. There they discuss about what happens after death also in their own mystical way or in their own mystical language. So I should thank these three people mainly. In fact, I have learned from many people as such. Mainly I thank these three people because somehow I have to acknowledge all the learning, and I am right now thanking these three people. With this, I am coming to the end of the presentation, and I will give you sufficient time to go through all the sessions of art and science of eating if you have not gone through it, and all the sessions of healthy head and healthier mind again if you have not gone through it. Only after you people ensure me and assure me and promise me that you have gone through all these 12 plus 18 sessions, all these particular sessions we are going to get it uploaded into YouTube channel also. Only after you people ensure and assure me that you have gone through all these 18 plus 12 sessions thoroughly, only after that I will start my next presentation, which is called Secrets of Spirituality. Until then, take care, have a good life, and goodbye.